Welcome to Daycare Chronicles 101, and I am your host, Miss Tanya. Not at all whatsoever. I ain't got time for that. I'm a professional. This week's podcast is about family daycare and when your daycare facility is affected by COVID. I have a daycare provider, Miss Safiyyah, on the line now, and she is just gonna tell us how long she's been a provider, the impact COVID has had on her facility, and if she has any COVID policies in place, and also what has happened. So I want to welcome you this morning, Safiyyah. How are you?
Hi, Miss Diane. I'm good.
Good. So how long have you been a provider?
I'll be a provider for almost 3 years now in March, this coming March.
Congratulations. Yes. So what impact has coronavirus had on your facility?
Okay, so actually most recently, we were impacted by COVID positive kids and actually employees here at my daycare. I can kind of give you the scenario on even how everything happened.
Okay.
The week actually of Thanksgiving. Let me start here. So on Tuesday evening, the week of Thanksgiving, I had jumped on a Zoom call with the union actually for COVID information. What would happen if you either got someone in your daycare that tested positive, if you tested positive, if one of your employees tested positive. So I was just on the call just to get information. Just, why not? Let me jump on and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Literally that next morning, on Wednesday morning, I got a text from a parent saying, hey, my child has tested positive.
Oh, wow.
So immediately I said, and it was early enough to where I hadn't had any kids come in yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally sent out a mass text to everyone, letting them know, and I shut down for the day and told them, and that would have been the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so already we were going to be closed Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So going into the holiday, I closed down the Wednesday before. And what I had everyone do for my peace of mind, I told everyone to get tested, the parents and the child or the children that were coming to my daycare, for my peace of mind.
Great.
That wasn't per se mandatory or anything like that, but for me and per se everyone else's protection that was, in contact
Absolutely.
with the positive
yeah.
child, it was like, okay, I need everyone to get tested before coming back. Luckily, all of my parents were on board with it. I didn't have any pushback with that. So, if anything, I think most of the parents and the kids got tested literally that day. Because, again, it was early enough to where they were able to schedule either through their doctors or through like an outside, drive-up COVID place. So, my plan was to open back up on Monday, that following Monday after the holiday, with everyone quarantining.
Okay.
Because we had a positive, I told everyone, though, you have to quarantine. You all should be waiting on results or getting ready to take results, but everyone should be quarantining anyway. We shouldn't be going to, the holiday parties,
right,
any of that. I'm asking everyone to stay home, especially now because of the situation. So as the days went by, I was getting results. So the parents were sending me results, and it came to where by like Saturday, I had at least 3 positives.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you have 3 or more positives, you have to shut down. You have to do a 14-day quarantine.
Okay.
And again, I had learned that in that meeting that evening. So I was already ahead of it. So I think Sunday evening, I sent out an email to all the parents, letting them know that because of the increase of positives, I had to do a mandatory shutdown.
Yes.
For 14 days to quarantine. So from that point, what you have to do, or what you should do, you're supposed to alert licensing. Licensing is going to tell you to reach out to Los Angeles County Health Department. Mm-hmm. You got to notify them.
Yes.
And then from there, you're just giving information. So you have to let them know who was positive. You got to let them know all of the other close contacts, which are, between the employees and the kids that were in contact with the positives. You have to fill out forms. They're going to send you stuff in emails. You got to do like a list of positives. You got to do a list of who wasn't positive. You got to put the dates of the tests. You got to put the dates of when the test came back. Names, addresses, phone numbers.
Very thorough.
Parents' contacts.
Yeah.
You have to just fill out all this information and send it back. And of course, everything per se is time sensitive because they want you to, again, be quarantining within this time. They want notifications to be sent out. They want to make sure that all the parents are aware. They want to make sure that everyone is, in fact, quarantining, even if they aren't, per se, at your daycare. Once you get this information off to the LA County Health Department, they assign you to a nurse and a doctor from LA County Health Department. They then send out this nurse. Okay, so the nurse, the doctor, and someone from licensing is supposed to come to your home.
Yes.
And now do a thorough check. They want to make sure you have proper signs up. They want to make sure you have your temperature check station prior to coming in. They want to make sure that you have, that you're doing your temperature checks, your sign-in sheet, appropriate cleaning materials, even crazy stuff to where it was like, because we're a family daycare, to me, it didn't apply. They kind of went overboard with some requirements.
Can you just name like one of those that you thought was just a little overboard?
Yeah, so for me, I have two pack-and-plays in another room for the babies to sleep in. They told me that the room should be pretty much empty, like there should be nothing in this room. But I live here. This is my home too.
Right. So
I can't. No, I just.
Right.
Yeah. Say, okay.
Right.
Again, there's a bed here, there's a dresser in here, so you can't. Some stuff is just like, okay, come on, you guys, like it's clean. Like,
right. Exactly.
They're 6 feet apart. They're not touching each other. They're only in here to sleep. Nothing more than that.
Right.
Silly things like make sure that the kids aren't drinking out of the same cups and wash your cups after they drink. We do that already. That's what we do. Yeah. So some of the stuff was just, I don't know if they just had to say it just because it was part of the lingo. Yes. But we as daycare providers, we're already doing a lot of this, especially when it comes to the cleaning part of things. Absolutely. But they're just coming through to just make sure that, especially now because, we per se had an outbreak. We're considered an outbreak because it was 3 or more. They want to just overly make sure now that we are being safe. And then the other thing was, like, I have a million toys outside. And they were saying every time a child gets off of a toy, you got to wipe it down. Each time? So wow. Again, I have 3 1-year-olds. Right. These babies go in and out of a car in 60 seconds. Exactly. Yeah. And swap out amongst the 3 of them. So you know what I mean? We don't even have enough manpower for that. So exactly. Some of the stuff isn't practical. Yes, we clean the toys. Yes, when they come in, we wash hands. We do that. But after every time that they come off of a toy, they said to wipe it down. Yeah. It's like, okay. They also looked for the kids that are 2 and up. They want the kids to be wearing masks. Yes. I have masks here, and I knew that's what they wanted, so we did have the kids in masks when they came. However, it's hard to keep even the 2-year-olds and up in masks all day. It's very hard. The best we can with that. It's very hard. They take them off. They play with them. They try to switch them. They're hitting each other with them. You're doing more contaminating having them wear it because they're so young and they just don't get it. Yeah. For sure. But yeah, so I actually just did that yesterday. It was actually very stressful. Oh wow. Yeah, and it's stressful in a sense because some of the stuff is just, if they made us do it, all of us daycares we would need to shut down. Yeah. Because we wouldn't be able to properly social distance for the span of time we were open. I got it. So it was kind of like, they're telling you, okay, this is what you need to do or should be doing,
Right.
but in our minds, we're like, there's no way.
It was just overkill, pretty much. It was just overkill.
But we'll do the best we can, of course.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so that was the gist of it as far as like the steps. You know, if you have 3 or more, you close down for quarantine, you report it to licensing. Licensing then tells you to report it to LA County Health Department. LA County Health Department assigns you to a nurse and a doctor, along with someone from licensing. They're to come out to the house, do whatever their inspection is going to be, and then from there, they gave me I had like 10 items that they sent me an email as a follow-up yesterday on what they needed me to do, and to send pictures back showing that I've done it. I've been up already since 5 o'clock this morning, did what I needed to do, and everything has been sent because I need this to be closed and I need to be done with
Absolutely.
it.
No.
So
absolutely.
They send you a list of it all, you do it, send it, and then they try to pretty much close your case within like 2 to 3 business days, even after. So it's like you don't want to prolong it.
Right.
They just want to make sure that everyone is okay, everyone is healthy, safe, and that you follow the protocol that they've set in place for you, and then you submit it, and then that's it, you're done. And then yesterday, only the nurse was here at my house. Everyone else was on Zoom with her.
Oh, okay.
So like the licensing person, the doctor, and the nurse supervisor were on Zoom. Because again, people don't want to come out. It's more of like, well, how can we do this Zoom?
Absolutely.
Or be over the phone. So they only sent her out, and then the rest of them were on. So I had to take the phone and show and zoom in here, show the different areas of the house. Okay. So
while you still were working with the children, while you still had daycare going on.
So what I did though, I set it. We were able to schedule a time, so it wasn't a pop up. So what I did is schedule it during the time the kids were outside. Okay. So I had one person outside with the kids, and then luckily yesterday I had a light low day. I didn't have any of the babies yesterday. The parents just decided to keep them home, and I only had my big kids, so it wasn't as hectic as it could have been. It worked out.
I have a question. The children. So all of the children were fine. No one got extremely ill or anything. What were some of the symptoms?
So with the children that were positive, there was either no symptoms at all or mild, like maybe a stuffy nose, but no change in behavior, no out of the normal, their daily behavior.
Thank God for that. That was wonderful.
Everyone was fine. And I think that's why they send a nurse out too, just in case. I think they want to just kind of see for themselves that everyone is okay. As people may not be as honest as they should be sometimes. So I think that's for them to just come and see.
Absolutely.
As well, and make sure that everyone does look healthy and is actually okay.
Well, I am so happy that everyone was fine. No one got severely ill. Everyone has survived this. Being a daycare provider, we take that chance every day that we open our doors. We don't know. And so I feel like parents get a false sense of security when they drop their children off at daycare. We smile, we take the temperature checks, we're sanitizing, washing the hands. We don't allow the parents in. We're doing all the things the license has told us to do. However, COVID can enter any of our facilities at any time.
Yes.
And so I thank you so much for sharing this, because it definitely enlightened me to some things, especially the procedures and all of that. One thing that I do wish is that they sent us like a lot of the pins, the provider information notices or whatnot, but just how they came out and how thorough they were, I wish they would have been that way in the beginning with all of their providers. So that way, we definitely make sure that we are doing everything that we need to do, and as well as educate the parents. A lot of times it's educating the parents that's the difficult part, because when they feel like when they drop them off at daycare, my child is fine, she has this, she's following all the protocols, and still COVID can enter our facility. So I thank you so much. I'm so happy that everyone, is okay there, and that, you've done everything you're supposed to do. You are amazing. You are amazing, and you got through this, and I am just so happy for you. And again, I thank you for coming on and sharing this. Is there anything else that you would like to say as far as like how this made you feel when you got that first initial call, and I mean, how was it like mentally on you during this period?
Um, so initially, yeah, like when I first got the first initial, and especially you don't know who it's going to hit. So
Right.
even the baby or the person or the child that it hit, it was just like, first, are they okay?
Yes.
Like, oh no, like, are you okay? And then you go from there, like, okay, now I have to share this information with everyone else because this, with my heart and my integrity, is like, okay, crap, like, I gotta let everyone else
Right.
know, like, okay, this is what's going on because, again, what if someone else is affected?
Yes.
So you're dealing with that. For me, it was immediate. Like, I didn't care. It was like, okay, this is what's going on, everyone. I'm shutting down for today. As I get information, I'll get it to you. Because again, I haven't gone through this. It's like, oh shoot, what do I do now?
Yes.
Because I got on that call literally less than 24 hours before it happened, I already was like, all right, it was fresh.
Yes.
This is what I do.
That was a blessing. That was
was just random for me. I hardly ever get on all this stuff because it's just too much information. But I'm like, you know what? Let me get on this call and just see, especially because numbers were going up. And it's just like, let me make sure I'm not, missing anything regarding COVID and daycare. So it's specific to COVID and daycare if you were to test positive in your daycare.
Right.
So the second part of it all, like, oh my God, what if the parents, for me, it was like, what if the parents never come back because of it? What if I lose my kids? And then, the finances. So you're thinking about all of that all at one time.
Yes.
Luckily, I have great parents. And I've been with them. They've all been with me for a while. So no one's per se new or like, oh my God. Everyone handled it pretty well. And I'm going to say this too. After I had parents test too. I even had a set of parents who initially tested negative, but then within a day or so they were getting symptoms, and they went back to test and they even ended up positive.
Wow.
So you just don't know.
You don't know.
And again, a lot of us can test negative, but have it dormant in our bodies, and then it comes up in the next 3 or 4 days. And people don't know that. And that is why we have to quarantine if we come in contact with a positive person, whether you're symptomatic or not. That's how this COVID stuff happens. You're like, oh, I feel fine. I got tested negative, but I was in contact with positive people.
Yes.
No, you need to go self-quarantine and stay away from others for at least that. I think they've been decreasing now to where it's like 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, they were thinking about that. Yeah. Thank you.
You need to quarantine.
Thank you for doing this the right way, for sharing this experience with us. I definitely appreciate you. And I know that my listeners are just going to love this part of the podcast. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and just relax.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me say this, you guys. She did everything. She was taking all the precautions. She was temperature checking, washing hands, all of that, and COVID still entered her facility. I try to tell parents this all the time. You must follow the protocol. You must have your mask on. You must stay at home. If you don't have to be out, with your children, then stay at home. I mean, look at what happened here. And thank God no one got severely ill. That is a blessing that no one got severely ill at all whatsoever. And I just want to thank Safiyyah for sharing her story again. Really, really thank her. Because this was just an eye-opener for all of us that are providers. This was an eye-opener. I have another guest on the line. Her name is Miss Suzette Salmon. She is a provider out of Illinois. And Miss Suzette, how are you doing today?
I am very good, and thank you so much. How are you? Thank you.
I am so well. We just had a wonderful conversation with a provider that had COVID enter her facility, and it was just eye-opening, enlightening, and she handled that. She was just amazing. She was amazing. And I'm so happy that no one got severely ill. Everyone is okay. And it's just a long process to go through. And you'll be able to hear it on the podcast. But I want to get to you. How long have you been a provider?
I've been in the business for 11 years.
11 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, that's a blessing. That
Thank
is
you.
a blessing. I love watching your IG page because you are so creative with all of the things that you do with the children in your daycare. If you are not following Miss Suzette, you need to go to Little Baby Academy on IG and follow her. You can I follow her on my page so you can get to her through me. She is just amazing. I
Thank you so much.
I want to know, being that you're in Illinois, how has COVID affected your facility or your area there? How has it been trying to get supplies, essential supplies, because that's been a daunting task for all of us.
I'm so happy you're asking because at the beginning of COVID, getting essential supplies was ridiculous. It was extremely hard, and I relied on you to help me with some of the supplies. However, now
Yes.
we're getting trickling of supplies. I still can't get gloves as much as I would want to. So I've had parents donate gloves. Only this week did I get 2 boxes of 200 gloves because it's just not in supply. So
Wow.
there are still things that I am not able to put my hands on because unless I get up early and head out to go hunt for it, but on the weekends or after hours, I just wouldn't get it. And operating a daycare, it's kind of hard for you to do all of that. So I still have problems getting some supplies.
Okay, so gloves is something that definitely is needed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then like wipes, I get wipes. I'm using a lot of vinegar and essential oils too. I have gone to something called Force of Nature, which is a natural supply. So
Yes.
you know that one? It's so good, right? I really like it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just because I'm able to use it on the kids' toys.
Yes.
And, it's so organic in nature. But other things, the parents are really helpful, and I am able to get some things like wipes at Sam's Club, and then, of course, again, the gloves. The parents may help me with Costco, or if they find anything, I just ask them to help me get supplies.
Yes, I know that I walked into Sam's Club last weekend and the lady was there with the flat. The flat had just been laid out of Lysol and they were handing them out, the 4-pack one by one. And I think I yelled so loud, everyone turned around. I said, "You got Lysol?" Lysol is something that, it's a treasure right now. But to be able to go in there and see, and they literally hand you one at a time. You cannot pick up 2 packs. You can only get one 4-pack. And I was so excited about that because the price that we're paying on the streets, and when I say on the street, I mean on the streets for Lysol, is $20 a can. It's ridiculous.
Yes. And even online, if you find any website that has Lysol at this point, you're paying like $19 for a small can. So you're absolutely correct. It's hard to find something within the price that we're accustomed.
Yes. Now, we're discussing COVID and coronavirus, whatever you want to call it today. How has that been with you with the facility? Do you have policies in place? What are you doing to try to reduce the risk of COVID coming into your facility?
Here's the thing. This is where I live. This is my home. And my family lives here. I have to do everything to protect not just myself, but my family. Now, what I've found is that parents have a false sense because the recovery rate here in Illinois is 97%. So parents, in my opinion, I don't see them diligently doing all that they can to help me. So what I've been doing is I've been cleaning a lot.
Yes.
Hand washing is something that we always do. We're daycare providers.
Yes.
So we know about hand washing.
Yes.
It's not acting as if we're doing anything different.
Right.
Simply because we were in a petri dish, we know that these children are full of germs, but yet we do everything to protect ourselves and the other children.
Yes.
So what I do is I do 2 or 3 temperature checks per day. I'm not sure how many you've been doing in your place for yourself, and I record those.
Okay.
The children wear masks. I have to wear a mask in my home, and as frustrating as it is, it's something that needs to be done.
Yes.
I have to wear
Yes.
a mask in my house. My children, they have to wear mask. And for the little ones that are under 2, sometimes we give them a face shield, but it's so hard for them sometimes because it's just a foreign object on their face for the little ones.
Right. Yeah.
And they want to swat like a fly or take it off because they're not accustomed to this thing. And it's trying to ease them into it but not force them because you don't want them to hyperventilate with this foreign object.
Right.
But at the same time, it's for the ones that are sneezing and coughing and constantly touching their nose, it's trying to find something to help so that we minimize what may come into the daycare. For the parents, sometimes they're still not wearing masks when it's in my policy. Wear a mask at drop off or pick up.
Yeah, my parents tried that, and I noticed that they started slacking up on it. So I sent everyone a reminder text. Please wear your face mask when you come to pick up, drop off your children. Do not step on my porch if you don't have this on. You will be sent back to your car to go and get it.
Miss Tanya, I tell you, I ask the parents to stagger their drop-off, and sometimes you see 3 of them come one time. I'm like, come on. You know, give each other space and not just 10 feet, but back it up.
Yes.
And so what I've been doing is I meet the clients. First I say, text me when you're here so I get the kids dressed, and I know that they're meeting to the door sign and be gone.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
If you want to
Yes.
talk to me, call me after hours or text me. But in person is not the time for us to have a conversation just because of COVID.
That's right.
You know, it's a
That's
precaution.
right. That's right. No, absolutely. I agree. Good for you. Good for you.
And some of these parents still want their kids to go on play dates. They're still taking their children to the park, Miss Tanya.
They reopened the parks back in California. And this is my thing about the parks. And the newscaster even said this. No one is cleaning the play equipment at the parks. And it's not so much as, you know, the children playing there, but they're going to touch their faces, you know, and then that's where it becomes a problem. No one is wearing a mask at the park. The children are not playing in a mask at the park. Right now, to play on the play equipment at the park is just not safe to me. As a parent, as a grandparent, as a provider, I'm just not doing it.
I know, and even, you know, because we can't force adults to do something.
Right,
We can give suggestions or point them to statistics and hope that they will make a good decision because whatever they do impact not just them, but our daycare environment too. But I'm telling you, these parents still take their children to the park. Since COVID, I have done a policy update. July, first in March, July, August, November, December.
Yes.
As things unfold, I am updating and giving information to the parents and requiring them to sign. And I put something in there, and I even had conversation with you too, like, Miss Tanya, please, what are you doing?
Yes.
Because, you know, as daycare providers, sometimes we feel so isolated.
Yes.
Sometimes we feel like we're in this by ourselves, and I'm so happy for your platform where you are able to give ideas and to help providers to reach out to us and say, hey, you're not alone, because it is a lonely road many, many times.
It is.
You know?
It is.
And I put out there that if you are to travel by boat, car, plane, bicycle, anything.
That's right.
Out of state.
That's right.
You need a 2-week quarantine time.
Yes.
Do you know this parent came to me and she said, oh, you mean if I go to a birthday party at the next state I have to?
A birthday party? Oh, my goodness.
Birthday party.
Yeah.
So even though you have policies in place, Miss Tanya,
yes,
the parents are still going to come and ask you questions.
Yes. And
you really wonder if they're reading.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I've had to do a COVID test myself just because I wanted to be sure of what's going on, because I've heard of daycare providers who are asymptomatic.
Yes.
and not know it.
Yes.
My test results came back negative, thank God.
Thank God.
My assistant was sick. She couldn't come to work. Why? Because I require a COVID test if you're sick. Miss Tanya, there's nothing called a cold or allergies right now. Everything is COVID. You know that, right?
Well, you know what? And that's the thing, is that it's so hard to differentiate. It's just too hard for us to differentiate. I have a little boy that hasn't been here for 2 weeks. He had a cold, a runny nose, a little fever. He cannot come to daycare. And it's very hard to differentiate COVID from a cold, the flu, allergies, a runny nose, all of that. It definitely is right now. And it's hard on us as providers. Don't you agree with that? It's so hard on us.
It is so hard because we're wearing so many hats, Miss Tanya.
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons why I believe self-care is so important.
Oh, yes.
Because it's so hard for us to have all these policies to take care of ourselves, to take care of the children. It's so demanding. And again, sometimes we feel so alone because the parents are just behaving as if, I'm not going to worry.
Yeah.
She got it. She take care of my kids. She got it.
Yes.
But that's so much pressure on me, you, and all the other daycare providers.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I just told the guest, Miss Safiyyah, just before you, I said, I feel like we give the parents, and you said the same thing, a false sense of security. I really, really feel that way. And, I have clients that have been getting attitudes because I'm like, you just posted this picture. There was 10 people in this picture. You took your daughter to a party. Yeah, well, she can't come for 14 days. I had a parent who went out of the state for Thanksgiving. Her child can come back on Tuesday. Her child has had to quarantine for those 14 days from daycare. I'm not playing with this. COVID is real,
It's real. But Miss Tanya, do you think so all the parents are honest with us?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even though I even put it in my contract, please be honest about the questions, your decisions, your traveling, your parties, everything. Please be honest. They're not. And the risk that we take every day is so great. The provider that I just spoke with, she had COVID in her facility, and she was doing all the right things. It can happen to any of us, any day, anytime, any hour, What are you doing? What are you doing for self-care?
Oh my goodness. Self-care is such a tricky one because, I love the outdoors, Miss Tanya. I love the outdoors. So for me, self-care for me personally may not be self-care for the children, but what I have done for my daycare is to increase play outdoors, increase movement, increase dancing. I kind of pull away from structure.
Yes.
Because right now in a COVID environment, too much structure is just not good.
Oh my goodness, I'm the same way. Yes, I agree.
I have to pull away from that, and I incorporate more music, and not just necessarily children music, because sometimes you just can't listen to children music.
Oh yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, no, yeah, absolutely.
So like instrumental music, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of just those kind of mellow music that would make the environment calm. I do a lot of oils, essential oils, and just bring it into the daycare. And we're in Illinois, so it's cold. You're in a hot climate, so for you guys can go outside. I see you all the time with your children.
We're outside all the time, yes.
I tell you, even the way that you set up your environment for the parents to drop off, I'm so jealous because you're in a really nice, warm climate.
Yes.
For us, it's gloves and boots and snowsuits, and even though we don't have a lot of snow this year, but as yet, getting 6 or 7 children outside may take me 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes. Right.
We need to be outside.
Yes.
It's a must.
I agree.
For daycare providers to take their children outside. You're not doing good for the children, only you're doing good for yourself.
I agree. I absolutely. I totally agree. I tell the parents, layer them up. It's easier. Always ask them to put like a sweatshirt on or a hoodie and then maybe a jacket over it. I can take the jacket off. We can go out with the hoodie because even though we're in California, it may be cold in the morning. warm in the afternoon and then cool, later towards the evening or whatnot. So we deal with 3 different climates all day, recently. Self-care is so important. That's another segment I'm going to do during this podcast. But we must talk about your book that I have, Overcoming Daycare Burnout. The cover is amazing. My husband actually looked at the book on the table, and he's like, "She's in a magazine? This is her magazine?" I said, "This is her book." That's how beautiful the cover of your book is. Overcoming Daycare Burnout. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so, I've been a daycare provider for 11 years, as you said, and one of the things with being a daycare is that our emotions and the way we feel is cyclical. One day we're up, one day we're down. Sometimes we even question ourselves, should I be doing this? Mm-hmm. Is this really for me?
Yes.
And another day, the children come in and they greet you and they hug you, and you just feel alive, you feel well, and you're like, this is why I'm doing this, It's the love that you got in your heart and soul to give. But yes, we do go through days when we just don't feel like getting up, we don't feel like showing up. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to write this book because I started off as a blog post, and then I'm like, wow, it was just too much to talk about. And we create a space of love and joy. When the children come inside, we want to be that person to give them. We don't want to be frumpy, because
right.
The children are just full of light. We want to transfer the light that we've got to these children. But how do we do it on days when we don't even have the light within ourselves? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not feeling
that's right.
that you have something inside, and there's nothing to give when you're feeling low. So this book is just helping daycare providers to practice self-care, take baths, slow down, have days when you do nothing than observe the children, have days when you just go outside and all they do is play.
Yes.
Play is important.
Yes, it is.
Play is learning.
Yes.
Come away from the worksheets.
That's right.
Just let them color, crayon, do anything outside. It doesn't have to be on paper.
That's right.
I wanted daycare providers to just have a sense of relief knowing that we're in this together. As isolated as we feel at times, many of us share the same experiences, but we just don't speak it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, my DCFS rep came in last week, and she's like, Miss Sue, for you to write about this is so important because a lot of daycare providers are burnt out and they do not talk about it.
No.
It's something we go through, it's how do you cook? Do you get up and cook every day? Do you stand around the stove and cook all day, or do you use crock pot, Instapot, this pot, whatever pot?
Right.
How are you using your days wisely?
Yes.
How do you shop?
Yes.
I wanted to encourage daycare providers to ask for help. Miss Tanya, we can't do things all by ourselves.
That's right. That's right. I definitely agree. I agree. The book is amazing. You're amazing.
So are you.
I am so in love, with Miss Sue. I am so in love with Miss Sue. I'm not that creative person. I'll go buy something and make it. You can turn a leaf into anything. You are just amazing. Just some of the activities that you have. And to me, it's so great because everything isn't about spending money all the time. You can use what you have in your home. And that's what I love about you. You give me so many ideas that I now incorporate in my daycare. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. But you know what, Miss Tanya? As adults, we are reframed. So at one point in our life, we used to be playful, we used to be creative, and experience holds us back. So our reference point is our experience and what we went through, and we stop ourselves. In the eyes of a child, they just want to do.
Yes.
They just want to go.
Yes.
So how can we encourage them to create without boundaries of saying, no, you can't,
yes.
no, you can't. Yes, there are boundaries, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Children need to know right from wrong.
That's right.
But as teachers and mentors, it is our duty to help them be creative, to think outside the box.
That's right.
Not to put them in another box and say, okay, fine, you can only do writing on a piece of paper.
Right.
What about on a tree bark?
That's right.
What about writing on a piece of tire or something?
This is why I love her. These ideas right here. This is why I love her. I love her. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. I appreciate you so much, Miss Sue. I love you so much. Her book, Overcoming Daycare Burnout, is available on Amazon. Please go and purchase her book. It is phenomenal.
Thank you, Miss Tanya. And I wanted to tell you, Miss Tanya, thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for all the lights that you shine on our day-to-day activities.
You are so
we
welcome.
Are better because of you. Thank you.
You enjoy the rest of your day. I love you for calling in. And again, Overcoming Daycare Burnout by Suzette Salmon. Thank you, Miss Sue.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Have a great one.
How amazing was that? She is just amazing. She's in Illinois, and, COVID is just affecting everyone. The fact that she says because the recovery rate is so high that the parents don't even get it. Like, they're not even getting it. And that's exactly, the issue that we're having as providers. We need the parents to really understand and to really get it. You all know that I always do a healthy snack tip. Now that we're into the warm, the cold months, we want the warm food. Pumpkin spice everything. Pumpkin spice muffins are just a warm treat for breakfast, for a snack. Just team it up with a fresh fruit salad, and it's just amazing. And some little hot chocolate for the children. Oh my goodness. They'll love it. And you can buy the canned pumpkin and just doctor it up. Add you a little more pumpkin spice in there. Add you a little bit of nutmeg in there just to give it, that smell, that aroma, that good old-fashioned taste in there. That is a really good, healthy snack for the children. Why not? A little bit of sugar doesn't hurt, just a little bit. Pumpkin spice muffins, pumpkin spice loaf. You can do pumpkin pancakes. The possibilities are just endless. And I go to allrecipes.com for a lot of things that I do for the daycare and for my family as well. So check out allrecipes.com. At this time, I'm going to have a friend of mine that is a social worker. And I was asking her about how the children are doing that are in the foster care system. So I have Miss Shannon on the line now. Miss Shannon, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. We have just been having just wonderful conversations this morning, and I definitely wanted to end it with you because we spoke the other day, and this just really, really touched my heart so much. Please let us know how COVID is affecting our children that are in the system, through social services, through foster care. How are the children doing?
So what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that they're pulling a lot of some of our workers away to be what's called a DSW, or a disaster service worker. The children who contract COVID that are in foster care in these various foster homes, they are using Airbnbs to keep these kids and quarantine them for hopefully 14 days.
Wait. Did you say Airbnbs?
Yes.
Wow.
So,
okay.
You're taking that vacation home, or someone's coming from out of town, and they are renting Airbnbs. The question is, how well are they being cleaned, sanitized, and disinfected? They do have a staff there, so they're pulling some of our human service aides away to keep an eye on these kids, basically to babysit. And they do light laundry, and they're supposed to watch the kids. But the issue is with the little ones under a certain age is fine. But when you're putting these teenagers who are contracting COVID into these houses, the teenagers don't stay. They are AWOLing.
Wow.
And there's nothing that you can do to make them stay there. We can't. There's certain rules. There's certain laws. We can't put our hands on these kids.
Right. Wow.
So, these teenagers have COVID. They're used to AWOLing, or they're AWOLing because they're not with the family that they have been with in foster care that maybe they've grown attached to, or maybe they're going out looking for their families, because this is what they do. They AWOL in search of their own families.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Is it mandatory that if you're a foster parent, that if the foster child contracts COVID, that they have to be removed from the home?
They are asking for them to be removed, but I honestly don't know if it's mandatory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But most foster parents are asking for the kids to be removed, because if this is the only child who's testing positive. Many foster families have their own biological children in the home, and they're trying to avoid, the rest of the household contracting COVID.
So this is like not only it could be a physical issue, but a mental issue for the foster child.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Which means there's more trauma being placed on the child.
Yes.
It's bad enough they're already in foster care, but then you put them into this house with some more unknown people and a new situation, and they're sick. Yeah, so we're adding more trauma to the situation.
My goodness. I mean, this does not sound like a good thing at all.
No,
goodness.
And the staff is walking in there. We all have families, and we go into these homes and these Airbnbs that the kids are placed in. Not all the kids are placed in Airbnbs. There's space in hospitals. If it's that bad, then
yes,
some of the children have been put into hospitals. But that Airbnb situation is scary.
That is very scary. And the fact that the staff that's working there, they go home to their families every day.
Absolutely.
So you're taking that risk of being with positive COVID people to your home, to your family.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
yes.
This is not a good situation at all whatsoever. My God. People just don't get it about COVID. They're just not getting it. And then when you're dealing with children and the ones that AWOL, it's like when they leave, then they're going to infect other people that they're going to be around.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
The struggle has been, if you have to replace a child, people are not open to taking children right now because of COVID, because they don't know where that child has been. So,
right.
A lot of times these kids are having to quarantine for 14 days before they go into a foster home, just so that they, know that they're negative and they won't contaminate the rest of the house.
And I definitely understand that. I'm that way about daycare. I'm not even accepting new clients right now. And when I do, you will have to wait 14 days after we sign this agreement and say that your child is enrolled before your child can actually physically start, just for the protection, until things get better in our communities. Wow.
Absolutely.
So how is this on the social workers? What's the mental state of our social workers now?
We are all, we're constantly asking, like, hey, what about us? And they've put certain things into place, but it's, when I say certain things, they've stopped monitored visits because of the new closure. They have, so we're not, if the families don't have a family member or a friend that has passed the fingerprinting, then we are not doing the monitored visits for them right now. It's the caregivers that the child is staying with wants to do it and agrees to it, and that's fine. But our offices are not open anyway, so
right.
We can't go to the parks. They don't want us sitting outside anymore. Plus the weather's changing; it's getting cold.
Yes.
And so, but no, it's very stressful. You don't want to go into people's homes. People don't want you in their homes. I do a lot of my visits on the porch. If it's a family that I feel comfortable with, the fact that their house is not some scary situation for the kids, but
Yes.
there are houses that I do go into still because it is a scary situation for the kids, and you have to make sure that there's food in the fridge and that the kids have a bed to sleep on and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely, a lot to deal with on a daily basis. Mental health is something that is a big concern right now due to COVID, and this is from all ages, all across the board.
Right.
I was looking at the news and they said they reopened our parks in California because of the mental state of our children.
Right.
And my thing was, but no one is cleaning the parks. No one is sanitizing anything. So you're taking that risk of catching COVID at the park because of the surfaces and, children touching their faces and no one wearing a mask. But then they say that the mental state is more important than that. And, I'm just like, we're just not that's not a win-win situation.
No, not at all. Because, the mental state, they got out, they played, but then what happens if they do touch something that has something on it and touch their mouths or the eyes?
Yes, absolutely.
This is a different world we're living in.
It definitely is. I have been encouraging parents, if you go to the park, take a ball, take a bat, take a tennis racket or something, play on the grassy area, whatnot. It's okay to go, but just stay off of the play equipment and stay, at least 6 to 10 feet away from everybody, and make sure your baby has on a mask if you're going to take them out like that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you this morning calling in for this because this is so important. We must not forget about our babies that are in the system. Absolutely. We must not forget about them. And, I'm definitely going to pray about this situation that it gets better because I just, the fact of having COVID Airbnbs is just scary as hell to me. I'm going to just say that,
Right.
And not only, are you a social worker, but you have your own family, you have your own children, you have distance learning going on. How are you holding up?
I mean, it's stressful. It really is. It takes a toll on you. I'm blessed to actually, have my husband because we share the load.
Yes.
But it's definitely stressful.
Definitely, yes. I totally understand that. Just having distance learners in the daycare, it's a daunting task as well as the other children. And I'm so happy that we have a yard that we're able to go out and play in every day. How are the children holding up with not being able to go to school, not being able to see their friends except for on this screen every day? How are they holding up?
They're making it through. I definitely hear I'm bored and I just want to go to school and I want to be with my friends, but they're making it. I mean, like the rest of us.
Yes.
It's almost as well as can be expected.
Yes, but you did get them a trampoline, right? You did tell me.
So
you added something there,
I had to laugh. I said I spent more money since the whole lockdown ever before, just trying to maintain that sanity. And we're lucky to have a big backyard where we can go out and play. But absolutely, that was necessary.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
You're more than welcome.
Definitely going to keep you and the children, in our prayers or whatnot, and hopefully they will come up with something a little better for our babies that are in the system, whatnot. I appreciate you. I love you, and thank you for always being there when I call on you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
OMG. The foster care system. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just taking a minute. I gotta dry my eyes because it's just a lot. That was a lot right there. We must take care of our mental health. Today, I said that I was going to drive down to the beach. I'm in California. I'm going to drive down to the beach and just walk on the beach. I need to get to the ocean. I need to hear it. I need to see it. I'm going to be safe, have my mask on, social distance, all that. But I need that. I need to go, if I just go and sit on the sand on a blanket, I just need that for a little while. We must do things that make us happy, especially during this time when there's so much sadness and, so much death going on and, people getting severely sick or whatnot. We must take care of our mental health. It's so, so, so important. And please, please pray for our babies that are in that social services, foster care system. It's really not a good situation right now. On a happy note, I am going to talk about learning resources. I have fallen in love with learning resources. Their toys are so lifelike. I have purchased so many of their products within the past 2 months. Their salad set, their soup set, their coffee set, their breakfast, lunch, dinner sets. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see some of the toy reviews that I have done. If you go to my IG page, you can see some of them on there as well as my Facebook page. Learning Resources is just an amazing company. The quality is good. It's colorful, it's inviting, it's engaging. The children love it. I love it. Their play is just so fun and wonderful just to watch them play with their products. Learning Resources. No, I'm not getting paid to talk about Learning Resources right now. Learning Resources is just one of my favorite companies right now. And I just want to thank you, Learning Resources, for the quality of the products that are out there. Being a daycare provider, I like to buy things that are of good quality, because if you don't, the children, they get destroyed quickly, whatnot. So as providers, we don't want to have to keep buying things over and over again. So you try to buy things that have good quality. And Learning Resources is one of those companies. And when I tell you that my children just are having a wonderful time with Learning Resources, listen, go to my website, daycarechronicles101.com. Check it out. Subscribe. If you have a question, you want to book a consultation, if you're a parent or provider, Miss Tanya is here for you. Also, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Go to my platforms. I have podcasts that are out there. Go to your podcast platforms, subscribe. Stay in touch with Daycare Chronicles 101. I am trying to bring you the best content, the realest content, the most truthful content about things that happen in daycare on a daily basis, things that providers are going through. So remember, if you don't want to be a chronicle, don't do it.